you know, what was going on internally in my spirit that I allowed certain things to happen, that I allowed certain treatment, that I thought less of myself. Well, hello. Today is, don't get me the line. Let's see. Today is the 10th. Today is January 10th, 2026. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Just got done walking in the winter wonderland. It wasn't bad. Actually, it's not snowing as heavy as it was when I was out in it. At least it felt like it was heavier. When you're walking in the snow, it always feels like it's more than it probably really is. I'll insert some pictures. I have so many different videos that I have not actually edited and, you know, pieced together and put on YouTube. But this is the thing, nobody watches my channel. So, you know, them videos will get on there when they get there, and just, you know, be glad you don't get a winter video in the summer or a summer video in the winter, you know. What do you say on Coming to America? Let them wait. I'm mad at him. Nothing much has been going on. Same old, same old. Making sure I get my exercise in 5 days out the week, either walking or riding my bike. Either I ride my stationary bike, or I get on the walking pad in the house, or I come out, you know, in nature and get a walk in. And it's been a minute since I had a walk out in the elements. I want to say the last time I was out walking was before the new year. I want to say before Christmas. I really want to say before Christmas. And I've been walking in the house since then. And it is what it is. But every so often I get that little bite in my ass, you know, to get some fresh air in my nostrils, and, you know, see some trees, and, you know, whatever season it is, snow, rain, sun. And I gets out and you know, you be checking for people, and I get out here and walk, and, you know, who am I to think other people won't get out here and brave the weather and walk too? All you have to do is dress accordingly. There's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be scared of. You just have to rip off the Band-Aid and put yourself out there. And once you do it, and you do it once successfully, there's nothing after that. I forgot what the acronym for fear is. What is it? False evidence appearing real, or something like that. What else is going on? Oh yeah, I think I've already said my books are now on Amazon. Maybe I'll insert them somewhere on here. I have 3 books. One is my first work of fiction, and the other 2 are just short stories that have meaning. They're like adult short stories and lessons, and I thought that would be fun to have. You know, kids have their storybooks. Who's to say we don't want to grab a little quick read and just read it and be like, the moral of the story is. That's my thought process. I'm thinking, you know, I would like that, and I get a little giggle and, you know, thrill out of it. I find it entertaining. Who's to say somebody else, you know, they say like minds think alike. Somebody else might be like, hey, that's cool, I can dig it. Whatever. I had somebody ask me about my book, and I sent them the link. And, you know, here it is. What is it, like so many days later, at least over a week later. And I checked the reports on Amazon. Ain't nobody purchased that book. And that's fine. And it surprises you. Life gets real when you start becoming aware and you move accordingly, and you see people for exactly how they present and show themselves to be. So you don't get, it's not a surprise to you when certain things happen. You be like, yeah, it was leading up to that. You were showing me exactly how you are. But to say, I'm not disappointed, I can't say that I'm not disappointed, because, the same people who, I put myself out there to give me feedback let me down, except for one person. One person. And my sister, I haven't told her that the book is even out. Well, none of my sisters know, but there's only one that I'm actually going to tell when she inquires about it. I'm just at a point in life that I just return energy, and I'm not overextending myself. I'm not putting myself out there. I'm not setting myself up to be hurt unnecessarily or disappointed unnecessarily. I took a risk and took a chance, and I thought that certain people would show up for me, and they didn't. And because they didn't, it just showed me how to move going forward. No love lost. I just adjust. That's all. I just adjust and keep moving. And watch people come in here and swoop around, but I have to, when people kind of pull up on you real slow, you'd be like, okay, make sure you keep it moving. Thirsty as hell. Been having dry mouth, and I brought my thing of water and drink it. I'm the only one drinking it anyway, so I put my lips all over this thing. You feel me? It's my thing. It's my thing. I've been feeling great. I finally lost a pound. I think I've scaled my average. My average it averages out to 3.4 pounds a month that I've been losing, right? But I don't get my 3.4 pounds every month. I get my 3.4 pounds whenever the hell my body feel like giving me that 3.4 pounds. You feel me? And sometimes it'll be like, okay, we're going to give it to you, and it'll show me the weight I'm going to be. And then it won't give me that actual weight until 2 months later. And that's what has happened. I had hit a lower weight, and for the past 2 months, I've been going up and down, up and down, up and down. And just the other day, yesterday, I got on the scale, and it finally let me have the lower weight. So I've learned just to stay the course. And at the rate that I'm going, come summer, I'll be at my final goal weight. And my final goal weight is still in the 200s. It's in the my goal weight is, ain't no shame in my game. My goal weight is 225. Okay. I'm 5'10" and a quarter, and believe it or not, that weight looks really good on me. It does. I think tall women get it. If you're a tall woman, you get where I'm coming from. People tend to guess our weight smaller than what it really is, and that's because we're taller, so our bodies can carry more weight, and it doesn't look as obvious how much we weigh. But in the same vein, more times than not, we're going to be bigger than the women that are shorter than us. That's just how it's designed, and life and society is not set up to be friendly to tall women in that sense, because if you ask the average woman, they're supposed to be one something. That's just the norm, to be one something. But if you was to ask a tall woman, just say a woman who's 5'11", 6 feet or something like that, and if she told you she was 210, people would be like, wow, oh, okay, 210. And a fellow tall woman would be like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. And it looks good on her. And somebody else would look at her and probably think she's 185, 175. That's tall girl issues. And, you know, I always present for some reason on my phone. I just seem like I'm so much bigger than what I look like in pictures and all that. And, you know, I get over it. It comes and goes. The older I get, the more wisdom I get under my belt, the more I continue to pour love into myself, the higher my give a fuck, you know, or don't give a fuck, I should say, it increases. That's why by the time somebody get like 70, 80, and they just cuss people out, or they just say whatever the hell's on their mind, people be like, oh, grandma, oh, grandpa, you know, you just let them have it. You don't think they being rude. You don't think they being nasty, in a bad mood. You just be like, they've been on this planet a long time. They could say exactly how they feel. And the older you get, you know, you get there. And that's where I'm at. I'm in a good place mentally, financially, of course. Still working on it. Still working on it. But I'm in a good place. I'm rich in spirit and mind and self-love. And of course, that none of that stuff pays the bills. None of that stuff feeds me. Except for in the place that really matters the most. Your soul and your spirit. Your heart. You know, how many times have people said people have all this money and they are miserable inside? They are sad. They are depressed. They are contemplating self-deleting, you know, on the regular. And you had them people on some their good times type life. And they just, you know, shucking and jiving and, you know, getting by how they can. But they be finding good times in memories, and, you know, get in where they fit in and just live the life to the best of their ability. I'm doing that. That's what I'm doing. And I'm blessed because I'm still on this side of the dirt. And I have all my limbs and my right mind. And there's time. There's always time until there isn't time. Men are not on my radar. They exist, but they don't exist. It's like I could see a man and then see through him. You feel me? They like Casper out here. I don't care. I ghost them. I see through them. You know what I'm saying? Pretend like they ain't there. You know? Because that's just not on my agenda anymore. I'm so busy just trying to focus on me and do me. And I think I've said it before. I think I'll probably just be in this mode. I think I'm just going to coast it out to the big 5-0. You know? And if a man crosses my paths and he compliments my life, and it's uncomplicated, so be it. And if not, so be it. You see how that works? It don't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't miss it. I've had enough space in between the men folks, or my last serious kind of situation, get down situationship. That's in one of these vlogs. That you just see clear when you remove yourself from the things that you're knee deep in. And I'm in a space where I just look at so many things in life and be like, wow, you know, what was going on internally in my spirit that I allowed certain things to happen, that I allowed certain treatment, that I thought less of myself. And because I'm in a place of showing myself love and grace, that's what I do. Because at those particular moments in time, had I knew better, yeah, I would have did better. And I just didn't. But I do now. And that's the difference. So I don't beat myself up about it. It's not going to change anything, you know. I got those lessons. I got that wisdom. And now I can adjust and move accordingly. And I don't never have to have those lessons, again in life. That's the beauty of getting older. I'm not doing the woulda, coulda, shoulda anymore. I'm not doing the woulda, coulda, shoulda anymore, because if I would have known better, I would have did better. You don't know. It's stuff that I know right now that people younger, they ain't got to that point where they learn yet. Some people, certain things I know, they will live and die and never know it. And certain things other people know, I will live and die and not know it. And that's why it's just your own personal journey in life. You figure it out. And you create the life you want to live. You do it yourself. That's where I'm at. I was looking back on some of my old pictures when I was, bigger. I still have weight to lose. But the disbelief, it's almost like somebody peeled the coating off your eyes, off your glasses, and you just be like, how did I not see I was that big? Now that I'm looking back on pictures and comparison, I cringe, because I said, is this how people saw me? Is this how people saw me? And I couldn't see it for myself. And now that I look back on it, I just be like, whoa. Again, like, what was I going through that I just couldn't see it? And I did nothing about it. You be on autopilot in life sometimes, and you wake up. Sometimes it takes something major to happen to wake you up, to snap you out of just, having that tunnel vision and nothing else just matters in life. Just work, bills, eat, sleep, rinse and repeat. And I don't ever want to be in that space again in life, that I'm too busy surviving, that I'm not thriving, I'm not enjoying life. I don't ever want to be in that place again, and I won't be. But yeah, I looked at them pictures and was like, damn. Did you save any donuts for anybody else? No. Man, you be thinking these itty bitty tiny little lips on your face can make somebody be on my 600-pound life. These two little lips, one spoonful at a time, will have people in the bed crying and bed sores and rocking before they get out the bed. You know what I'm saying? And rocking side to side when they walk. Two little lips. One spoon at a time. One spoon at a time. And that's how it creeps up on you. And then I've learned other ways to cope in life. So food is not a comfort anymore. It's a way to nourish my body. And of course I want it to taste good. So I take pride in what I cook and how I cook it now, how I prepare stuff. Coming up with different foods to eat and preparing stuff differently in ways that I like. And I found a new love for vegetables. Who would have thought? Vegetables? Are you kidding me? I love spinach. I love broccoli. I like making big old containers of soup and putting it in the fridge and eating it whenever. I'm just enjoying eating now, but it's not where it's like, I'm Cookie Monster food. Things with the kids are fine. I gave them the new rules for the household. Lily, she has been doing her big one, going to interviews, applying, all that good stuff. And I'm seeing her growth. It's almost like what she's showing me is I just need a little nudge, but it's already been in me to want to do that. And I know it's time. It's like she knows it's time for her to start paying her Spotify bill and, her phone bill, and just leveling up in her maturity. Because that's just how it works, the natural progression of life. You got to grow. You got to grow, you got to learn, you got to experience. Boopy, on the other hand, he, I think, is shucking and jiving. And, I be thinking of them 70s movies when they be like, shucking and jiving on a good foot until the 8th roll around and I flick that switch, and it's like, and I'm not playing, I can't enable my son anymore. So He's just going to be in there slow rocking until he gets tired of that internet getting cut off all the time and not making budget. Something has to give. I've made it so easy, and even though it's so easy, he still won't even do the bare minimum. Like, it's time. I'm flipping all the switches off. And, you know, the more uncomfortable he gets, the better. Giving that enough energy. What I have come up with is a new phrase that works for me, and that is stop. That's enough. Reset. And either any one of the words work. I can be like, okay, that's enough. I can say stop, or I could be like reset. Or if I really want to send that message home, it's like stop. That's enough. Reset. And that's just me giving myself a physical trigger to be like, you know, that stinking thinking, you got to pivot, girl. And once you master navigating your own life, you know, you're unstoppable. You're unstoppable. You're unbothered. Your stress eases, you know. Things you can change, you do. And things you can't, you learn to leave it be. Peace is key in my life right now. Peace, happiness, growth, returning energy. That's where I'm at. Maybe September 2023 or something like that, I want to say. So yeah, around that time this year will be 3 years that I have been on this health journey, walking, self-love, self-awareness, seeker of peace, seeker of self-love, elevation, high frequency, good vibes, all that stuff. Oh, that's a call and it's still recording, but that's my cue. Good things are happening right now. Notice it. Good things are happening right now, period. Notice it.